Hey guys, this is Ron with Tess, and I have Megan here with us. She's going to be helping out today. And what we're going to go over today is the back office side of your CRM. And so you're going to receive commission checks from outside, and then what do you do with them? And then answer any questions you have concerning this. Okay, so let's take a look at a few things. Here I'm logged in as Happy Traveler and I'm the administrator. And I did want to look at one more thing here to make sure that I have this set up right. So if I look at my profile here, I'm going to change this to where I don't receive commission. Now, most of you as administrators, you would be set up like this, okay? So we'll start with the company. This is the company. And this is the company information. This is the company's, I'm looking at the company profile. This is the company's address. This is real important for you. You want to make sure that you have that company address there correctly because that's where we go to get our 1099. So this is important. All right. And down here, I'm set at 80% for the company, and outside controls this. And all this means is that they are, I'm going to receive 80% commission. Some of you have different rates. If this is not correct, of course, you're going to contact the office and they will change this for you. Okay. And then I'm going to look at my profile. Now, my profile as an administrator, once outside pays Happy Traveler, Happy Traveler doesn't pay Ron a check. I get what's left over, okay? And so I'm set down here to receive no commission, okay? And then we're going to take a look here at some of my other agents. So let's go here and I'm going to look at Megan. So Megan is an agent for Happy Traveler. She's one of my sub-agents. And here I have her commission set at 80%. Now, we want to really get this, understand this real well. And so I'm going to show you some examples about how this will work, okay? This means she's going to get 80% of whatever Happy Traveler gets. It's not 80% of the booking, okay? And so what I want to do is go look at one of her bookings. And let's see here, I want to look at this booking. And so you see, she's projected commission of $600. Now, if I click here, it says that outside's going to get the $600. Outside's going to pay Happy Traveler 80%, okay, which is going to be $480. Now, Megan's going to get 80% of that $480, which is $384, not $600. That is confusing a lot for people, and I know I've worked with some of you, and we've kind of worked that out. But this is the way Tess does it, okay? And so the sub agent is going to get their percentage of whatever Happy Traveler gets, okay? In this case, if in fact outside receives 600, Happy would get 480. And Megan would get 384, okay? All right, so that's the way that sets up. Now, she booked this on 7/5, okay? Well, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to give Megan a raise, okay? So I'm going back here to agents, and I am going to find Megan, and I'm going to add I'm going to add a commission level, okay? And I'm just going to, I have to give it a description, okay? And I'm going to say reached 100K goal. And I'm going to say that she did this, let's see, September the 1st, okay? Effective September 1st, she's going to now get 85%. Okay. Now, what this means is that if she books something in August, whenever that gets paid out, she is going to receive 80% on it. If she books something after 9/1, whenever it pays out, she will get 85%. So let's go back and look at that booking now and see what's happening here. And so I'm going to look at this booking, and I see that she is set at 80%. Okay. So let's move this booking date out to 9/4 and save it. Okay. Now you see she's going to get 85% whenever this pays out. And that's because this date when she booked it is past the date that she got her raise. All right. So if any of you have any questions, about this, let's go ahead and ask those now. So this is how you control your agents and what they make and how things are going to get set up. Okay. If you go to your agents, your list of agents here, you can't add an agent. You would have to go through the office, and they have processes for where you go in and add one. I'm not sure. I think you do it in TAP somewhere. I'm not sure how that works, but they would have to add it, and then you would come in here and you could control that. Let's go down here and look at Claudio's. Claudio, he's at 90%. So whatever he gets paid, that's what he's going to get. Okay. So that's kind of how that process works. Okay. When I go to the company, you don't see the banking tab. You have to update your banking information through the outside. Okay. Now, when I go look at my profile, and I do not want you guys to get confused with this, when I go to my profile, and this is Ron's profile, I have a banking tab. Sometimes you put in your banking information here, and you think you've told Outside where to send your check. You have not. I want to make that very clear. This is if you were sending checks to your agents, okay? You receive your check from the company. So there's a banking profile on the company here. You don't see it, okay? And so that is has something you have to do through the office, okay? So where did you see the agent's bookings and commission amount? Okay, so I came over here under trips, and I just looked up a booking, and I looked at this first booking here that was Megan's, and here I see that in the booking, when she put the booking in, she put $600 as projected commission, and then here I could see the amounts. Okay, all right, excellent. So that's kind of that part. So now what I want to do is I want to look here. Let's see. I got to check. Yeah, that's a bad one. So what you do is you get an alert, you get an email that you got to check, and you're going to click on that, and you would come and receive that check. Now here, let me open this check and recall it. I'm going to recall the check. So when you get a check, it's going to be here under your commissions received. You got a check, and you can click on the link inside the email, or you can come here and click here, and you're going to see this check that I got, and I'm just going to accept the check. Okay. Once I accept the check, then I can come over here, commissions due, and I'm going to see what I owe my agents. Okay. This is going to be your list of everything that is owed to the agents. Now, I can click here under download, and I can click on commission due details, and it's going to give me some details, and it's going to show me I can download this to Excel. okay? And I can look at this, and it's going to show me everything. It's going to show me, you know, this is Claudio's, this is the booking numbers, Royal Caribbean and Classic. So this was projected, this is what was received, the agency split, and what is due the agents, and any adjustments, okay? Now, what happens is when you receive like these Royal Caribbeans, when you receive a check, what you've got to do is you've got to decide, am I going to go ahead and pay the agent when I receive the money, or am I going to wait until they travel? So where you set that up is you go here to My Company, and under Settings, there is a place here. The way I have it set up right now, I am going to pay the agent as soon as I get the money. Whenever I get the money, I'm just going to pay it. If I don't want to pay it until they travel, then I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so this is an option that you have. You can turn this on. It's not going to pay out till the client travels. Okay, now this next thing here is personal travel. So if I turn this on and say I put 100% here and I click save, what this is going to mean is that if we come back to this commission, this booking, if I go back to this booking now, then this checkbox here, when Megan put this booking in, she could check here that this is for personal travel. Now, when she does that, see, she's going to get the whole amount, okay? And so I don't think many of you would do this, but that is how that situation there would work, okay? And so I'm going to uncheck it and save, and then I'm going to turn that back off. But that's how you would set that, okay? Settings, I'm going to turn this back off, 0. Okay, all right. So that's the only thing that you may want to set in here. All right, so let's go back to commissions and let's look at commissions due again. Now you see one of those is gone now. And so let me go turn that back off for my examples, because I want both of those there. And see, when I turn this back off and when I come back to commission due, then it's going to have Claudio's bookings in there too, because that would mean that these guys probably haven't traveled. So if I click here on the pay, this green pay button, then I can go look at it. Doesn't mean I'm going to pay it. I can look at each one of these bookings that it's paying out, okay? And so this is the booking dates. It doesn't tell me here exactly when they're traveling, okay? And I see that I have a negative in here, so there must have been a recall on one of those, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is, it's real simple. You receive the check, you accept the check, you come here to commissions due, and you can pay your agents. It's just that easy. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I can pay them individually, or I can pay them pay all. In this case, I'm going to pay them individually because I want to show you something. So I'm going to click pay, and I'm going to put in a check number, okay? If I don't physically give them a check, I'm going to transfer it from the bank or something. What I'm going to do is make up a number, and you want to make these numbers up in a way that makes sense. So I'm going to use today's date. This is 5/05/2020, and here I'm going to put -1, okay? And the check date is going to be today, and I'm going to hit save. Now, Once you do that, you haven't paid it yet. You've got to submit the check. So what I want to show you is I'm going to go here to reconciled and see this recall came in, but I know that's going to get fixed maybe. And so what I want to show you is that if there's a booking on here that you're paying out, and I don't want to pay it out right now, okay, I can remove a booking from a check. So I'm going to remove this booking. I'm going to remove the booking. So now the amount of the check went up, okay, because now it's only these two bookings and it is $9.90. All right. Now that didn't go away because once I pay this check out, I still have that negative booking. So if you remove a booking, it doesn't go away. You still owe them. It's just not going to be on this check. Okay. And so here, when I go to the check information, and if I go ahead and submit this, then Claudio just got a statement. And so when he logs in, he's going to see that he received a check and he's going to be able to go look at it. Now, so that's how you would do that. So I'd come down here to commissions due, and I'm going to go to pay Megan's. And if you do them individually like this, this is how you would do it. And we're going to do them both ways. So we have 052020-2 and today's date, and save and submit that check. Okay. So now when I go to commissions paid, I'm going to see these two checks, and I've got to go get them this money. Okay. You still have to, pay, the $510, the check amount, 510. You've got to go get that money to them. Whether you do it through a transfer at your bank, you write them a check, ever how you do it, you have to get them the money. Now, when Claudio comes over here and logs in, okay, he's going to see that he did receive a check. He's going to click on this, and he sees that he got this check from Happy Traveler. He's going to open it. He's going to see what it is. It's these two. Okay. He's got that. And did he actually receive the money? Yes. So he accepts the check. So he would accept it here. If he doesn't accept it, it's okay. It's not going to mess up your record keeping. And here under commissions received, he's going to see every check that he's got from you. And any time he's going to be able to just come and click here and see exactly what that was. Okay. Another thing that he can do here is he can click here and get checks paid and put in, some dates. And he wants to see all of this here. And he's going to be able to see every check he got, how much it was for. So this is he can pull this report at any time. Okay. All right. Same thing for Megan's here. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you something. So this is kind of confusing to you. So you have to be careful. So here under commissions due, I have nothing. But I told you that check, that booking that we removed, I still owe that. But see, here is you don't have any positive checks due any agents. So I'm going to click on this toggle requirements, and I'm going to see that I do have a check for Claudio, but it's a negative. So until he gets enough bookings to cover this, he's not going to get a check. So each time you're going to have to go here and toggle these requirements so that you can see that. Okay. And because when you first come in, it's not going to be there. So you have to be careful. Now, there's another thing that I can do is I'm going to come here to reports, and I'm going to look at custom reports. And here is a report called commission waiting to pay agents. when you run this report, it's going to show everything, positive and negative. Okay. And so here you'll be able to keep up with those. So you're like, well, Claudio's leaving and he's not going to earn any money. He owes me $621. Okay. So, say Claudia writes you a check. Okay. And these are things, that we have to deal with now in COVID times that we typically didn't deal with before. So, but in this case, Claudio's going to write me a check. Okay. And so I've got to receive that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to adjustments and I'm going to add adjustment. Okay. I'm going to add an agent adjustment and I'm going to put, how much was that? Let's see. 621. Okay. So I'm going to come do an adjustment and I'm going to do an agent adjustment and I'm going to do 621.01. And I'm going to add that to Claudio. And I'm going to say receive check. And I'm going to spell received right. And recall has 2 L's. And I'm going to update that. Okay. So now when I come here to commissions due, I owe Claudio a penny. It won't let me do a zero check. Okay. So what I can do is I'm going to come in here and pay this. And when I pay this, it's going to remove, that negative. Okay. And so I'm going to come and pay it. And I'm going to put check number. And I'm not going to send him a penny. The computer's going to think I did. Okay. And see, it's pulled in this and it's done that. So it's zeroed it out. And so you got to make sure that he sent me that money. Okay. And then I'm going to pay that. Okay. So all is good. Save and submit. So now when I come back here to commissions due and I toggle requirements, it's not there anymore. Okay. And so that is how I would clear that out. So, okay. All right. We're doing good with questions so far. So that's all good. So now I'm going to come in here and I want to take this. And so there was something wrong with this check and I want to recall it. And so I'm going to recall the check and I'm going to go to each booking and I'm going to remove the booking. And I'm doing this because I want to show y'all something else. So I'm going to remove both of those and then I'm going to remove the check. Now it's like I never sent that check. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. I'm going to recall it and I'm going to remove things here. All right. And I'm going to delete this. So now when I come back to commissions due, I'm back to owing both of them. Okay. So the way I like to do things, if I don't have to hold anything back on both of these, then what I can do is I can just click pay all. But I want to change something over here and show you something else on these reports. So I'm going to come back over and I'm going to turn this back on. And then I'm going to go to commission due. And now you see, well, I guess that one booking was still there. Okay. Yeah, one's still there. All right, I'm gonna go back to my reports, and I'm gonna look at custom reports, and I'm gonna go to commissions waiting to pay agents. Okay. Now you see on this one, you have, for Claudio, you have 2 bookings, all right? And this shows you everything you owe agents, not necessarily what's going to be paid next payday. You see, because this one here is not traveling until 2021. Well, yeah, the booking date, the travel date is 21, okay? And so that's why it's not pulling up, because I said I'm not going to pay until they travel. And if for some reason I got paid and they hadn't traveled yet. So you see, this shows everything that I owe. But when I go here to commissions due, okay, then what it's going to be is here. If I go to commissions due, then right here, it's going to just be the one, okay? So this is what I owe right now, but the other one's going to show everything that you owe, okay? Any questions there? Well, very good, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off, so I want to pay both of those. And I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to turn this off, okay? And then I'm going to commissions due, commissions due, okay? And here I've got this, and I'm going to just click pay all. I'm going to put today's date. If you pay all like this, you can send them an email. So I'm going to click this to send email, and then I'm going to go next, select my template, and bam, everything's been paid. I'm going to go over here to checks paid, commissions paid, and I'm going to download this report, export to Excel, and here it's going to give me a report. And I'm going to take this report, and I'm going to go pay each one of these ever how I get the check, okay? So I'm trying to follow with my account. I made a change to pay when traveled, but because the trip was during COVID, the check is showing due. That's a very good question, okay? And so what happened is you've received something, okay, and you changed it to where you don't want to pay until they travel. But when you pull that booking up, okay, when you come and find that trip, okay, when you come pull this trip up and you look at this booking, and they didn't necessarily travel, I think is what you're saying, and you need to update this booking to when they're going to travel. The start date in your booking is past, okay? And so when you have a COVID trip, then what you're going to want to do is you want to come in here and you want to change this date to the future, okay? So if it's a placeholder and you don't know when they're going to travel, just change it out a year, okay? Because you don't want to pay out until it actually travels. I hope that answered your question, okay? So, but that's why it's still showing out here, because this date is in the past, okay? Any other questions? Okay. Well, so, when it comes to reporting, I think you guys are real familiar with the reporting. You've got, your commission earned. This is based on booking dates. This is all of the agents. Okay. You can search. I can pull up just Megan's and see just hers. And then you've got your projected income. This is based on travel date. You can see who's traveling, what income you have coming for next year also, based on travel dates, okay? And those are going to be the main kind of reports that you need. It's pretty simple, when you're under outside agents because you don't have to receive the commissions from all the wholesalers. You're just going to get the ones that from outside agents. So it's easy. They do all that work for you. Is it possible to get a report of canceled bookings? That's a really good question. I'm going to go to bookings here, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to get canceled bookings. Okay. And I'm going to put the dates. Now, this is the date that they were canceled. So let me go back here, and I'm going to go to September 1st through today, and I don't have any. If you have some canceled bookings, they would show up in that report. This earliest canceled date, this isn't the date of the booking. This is the date that we canceled it. So let's review that real quick. Let's say I'm going to come here, but let's go look at this trip. Okay. And I'm going to go and I'm going to look at this booking here. Okay. So this trip canceled. They're not going. Okay. And let's say it was a COVID issue. Maybe this was 20. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and type. I'm going to put COVID. The ID 19. I'm going to say canceled. Because I want to keep track of all these ones that were a problem with COVID. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to this booking, and I'm going to cancel this booking. Okay. And so I'm going to click canceled, and I'm going to save it. It still shows up there with a line through it. And then on this trip, I'm going to cancel it and save it. Now, when I come run that booking report again, when I go to my bookings and I run this report for cancel bookings, and I just put November through today, and you see, I see it right here. Okay. And so you'll be able to see, that. Yes. So what I would do is you come here to trips. Okay. And you take your trips, and I just don't have that much data in here, but I'm going to put from March the 1st, okay, and then I'm going to so I put the start date, and then I click this start button, and then I click it one more time, and so this is going to show me all of these, okay. Now obviously this right here, they didn't cruise. That didn't happen. So this shouldn't be showing up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this one. So I open this, okay, and I come in here, and it doesn't have a booking, but let me go see if I have one here that does. So I want to go back to that trips list now. If I click on trips here, it's going to take me back to the way it was before. So what I'm going to do is click right here, and it's going to take me right back to my filtering the way it was. So here's one that did have a booking, and so that didn't take place. So I'm going to open this, and there's several things that could take place. Okay, it's a placeholder to where they're going to take the credit and go in the future. They rebooked it, or they canceled it. In this case, I'm going to say here COVID-19, and I'm going to say canceled. Okay, and I'm going to put this here. Well, I just showed you canceled. Here I'm going to put rebooked. Okay, and I'm going to save this. Now, what I've got to do here is come here to this booking, and they're not going to travel. They rebooked it. Okay, so I'm going to come, and they booked it for 21. Okay, and 21 through the 10th, and I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to come here to the trip, and I'm going to put 21 and through the 10th and rebooked. Okay, So under my timeline, I'm going to be able to see that I changed these dates. Okay. And now when I come back to my trips, then this one that was here is not there. It's going to be at the bottom of the pile now because it's later. So all of these things that you have sitting in here that didn't take place, you need to remove them. And the way you remove them is you rebooked it, you canceled it, or you put a placeholder. So I'm going to put a placeholder for this Viking River cruise. Okay. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say COVID-19 placeholder. Come on, Ron. PLACE folder. Okay. And then I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this date out a year. Okay. And I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to this booking and I'm going to change this date out a year. Start date. Okay. So what happens now when I come back to my trips, then I can come in here and I can type in COVID and I'm going to see all of my COVID things. Now, I don't see the ones that are, I don't see the ones that are canceled. I have to come here and click canceled so that it'll include those. Okay. So now I can see them all. All right. So this is that's why I want to put COVID in there. Okay. And then when I pull that placeholder up, then I can go in when I rebook it. Sometimes you're going to add another, there's going to be a new booking number. If it's a new booking number, so this placeholder, once they rebook that, a lot of times what we want to do is we just take this booking and we open this booking and cancel it. And then we had, add the new one, okay? And it could be the same number if you've canceled it. So then you'd have the one that canceled and the new one in here. That's what I would do. Yeah, Kathleen, I wish I could have showed you all that back in March. I should have set up something with you. So let's see, Toby. My sub has a large group that was canceled from COVID. She canceled everything, but now I cannot see those bookings. That's a very good question. You can see those bookings. It's a trick, okay? So I'm going to bookings and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna click on canceled and it's going to show me all my canceled. Plus, you're going to be able to go run that canceled report, okay? For the next check, often there's a company view. Yeah, are we able to see sub-agent's next check in this view or not until the check is accepted? So what happens if you got a sub-agent, then you can see my next check based on money coming from outside. They're not going to see anything until you accept the check. And so as soon as you accept the check, then you're probably going to pay them. So that my next check doesn't really work for the sub-agents. We are working on that, but at this time, it does not. Okay? All right. So how we doing, Megan? Do we think we answered everything?
There is a question in the chat. Why not just cancel that trip and build a new one when they rebook?
So when I want to keep, and you can do that, okay? But I want to keep a history. So I was still in that one. I would still put in COVID, and you can go ahead and cancel it, okay? But if you're going to cancel it, then go ahead and put the new trip in also, and put COVID in that trip also. Reference them and make notes. Oh my gosh, I forgot to show you all that. So when you're here and you're doing this COVID stuff, well, anytime, guys. Okay. So notes are your friend. Now you've had a lot of conversations with a wholesaler about this. And so I'm going to come over here to notes and maybe I have an email chain. Okay. I'm going to come in here and everything I talk to anyone about, I'm going to add here. Okay. I'm going to add it all right here. And because I want to keep track of all that. And I don't want it in notebooks. I want it in here. Okay, so that's a very good question. So on both of those, I would write a note. And so let me show you something. So let's say that I had this trip. Okay, and this is a trip that I had made, okay, for the second one. I can cut and paste this URL up top here, okay, and then I could go back over here to my trips and bring up my COVID, okay, and I can add a note here, okay, oh, a note, and I'm gonna add a note, and here I'm gonna paste this link, okay, I'm gonna save that. So at all times, this is giving me a note that I can click on this and reference me back to the other trip. Okay. All right. Any more?
Not that I'm seeing.
Well, guys, this was good. And we wanted to kind of have this session with you today to answer any questions. And I appreciate your time. And we look forward to seeing you guys on a future one. All right, guys. Well, have a great day. And I look forward to our next session. Goodbye.